All right, everybody, another day, another dash. But before we start dashing, we're going to talk about something pretty big. So a lot of drivers are quitting the gig economy. Like, they are just fed up. There's a lot of positives to this job, but there's also a lot of negatives. So I'm going to break down the 5 biggest reasons that drivers say they're quitting the gig life in 2025. And make sure you stick around for the 5th one, because it's something that every single one of us need to be paying attention to, and you probably don't even realize it. So one of the main reasons that drivers are quitting is because the money just isn't as good as it used to be, and expenses are going way up. So back in the COVID era, I heard that it was really amazing to be a delivery driver. I didn't do it at the time, and I really wish I had, because I just heard that people made a ton of money. But that money isn't there anymore. There are so many new drivers, and these apps just keep messing with us. The base pay is low. A lot of customers aren't taking care of the drivers anymore. And it's just sad how much sometimes you can make. I know for me, there have been times where I've gone out and just the amount of crappy orders that are sent to you is so discouraging. Sometimes I just turn the apps off and go home, because I'm just like, I'm tired of this disrespect. Meanwhile, the cost of fuel and maintenance and insurance for your car is just going up. So the money that you're making out here is just getting eaten up by all these expenses. Another reason is that these platforms are just oversaturated with drivers. Now, there's people wanting to pick up a part-time job doing this, along with their full-time job, also because of how expensive things are out there, but there aren't enough orders for all of the drivers that are out there. So everyone is chasing the same orders, and there's just not enough to go around, at least not good paying ones. And I don't know if y'all have seen this, because I've seen people talk about that they've noticed drivers who have like 2 or 3 phones in their hands. Like, somehow they're signing up for extra accounts, so they're being able to take so many more orders than just the average person who only has 1 phone. I don't know how they're doing it. I have no clue. But I know that's one of the biggest complaints I've seen from drivers out there on social media. Now, another reason is some of these unfair policies and tip scams that are out there. So DoorDash specifically faced multiple lawsuits, including a recent settlement of about $17 million for misusing driver tips. So here's what one of the news articles says, is that DoorDash was using customer tips to offset guaranteed pay to drivers rather than letting drivers keep the full tips. I just think that that's so low. Like, a lot of people are out here because they have kids to feed, or, they're going to school and trying to, better themselves so that they can get a good career in the future. And then DoorDash is over here being shady to these independent contractors who are using their own cars and their, own time and own gas to deliver for DoorDash customers. It's just wrong. And don't even get me started on tip baiting. I personally have never been tip baited. If you don't know what it is, it's when customers typically on Uber Eats, they will put a big tip on their order because they know that a driver will pick that order up faster. And then once the order is delivered, because Uber gives them an hour to change their tip, they will remove the tip, essentially screwing the driver. It's just wrong. It's tacky. Now, a lot of drivers have also complained that they have been deactivated or their accounts have been locked because of what they say was a very minor infraction. Like, you never know if you're getting the whole story in these, Facebook groups, but many of them have said that they didn't even understand why that they were getting deactivated. And then when they tried to appeal, it was denied. So when that happens, they're forced out of being able to drive for these apps, and they have to do something else. Maybe go find a part-time job somewhere, retail or restaurant, whatever. But the whole good thing about driving for these apps is that you set your own schedule. So if there's somebody who has kids, or they need that flexibility and they get deactivated, that's really devastating on their livelihood. And this last one is something that we all need to be thinking about. It's that driving can be very mentally and physically exhausting. Now, you wouldn't think, you're just driving your car and you're going and picking something up and then driving it to a house, but it is very exhausting to do that, especially if you're somebody who goes out for hours and hours every single day. You're having to deal with cranky employees and cranky customers, and the way that customers talk to you sometimes. It can be very, very mentally draining for people. And then also the fact that you're trying to depend on tips to make it worth your time coming out here. And it can be a lot to take, and drivers just give up. I just want to let everybody know who's watching this, you're doing great. You're doing what you have to do to live your life and to stay above water in this crazy, crazy economy. So don't ever let a customer or an employee at a restaurant or anybody make you feel like you are less than you are. You're doing amazing. And if somebody's talking down to you, that's what makes them trash, not you. Okay, so let's get the apps turned on. I am going to turn on Uber Eats. And let me see. Oh, and we got a dash now. It's only for an hour, but that's okay. So let's go. Okay, I just picked up the order. We're only like 5 minutes away from this person's house. So there is never a dull moment in Orlando. There was a guy outside of that Wendy's singing Cuts Like a Knife by Bryan Adams at the top of his lungs. I didn't want to record him because I thought that would be rude, but he was just living his best life. He was good. I highly enjoyed his musical talents on this beautiful Saturday. So I feel really bad. The sticker from the bag that the employee used to close the bag, I guess it wasn't fully closed, and so it got stuck to the inside of my hot bag and opened up the lady's Wendy's bag. So it looks like I opened her bag. Oh, I feel so bad. I really hope she doesn't think I opened her bag. But those things suck. Like, those stickers on those fast food bags, like, they come loose so easy, and then the steam from the bag also steams them open. I'm like, oh man, I don't know. Nothing I can do about it now. Okay, I gotta show y'all. Look at the panda shirt I got in DC. It says, "This is how we roll." By the way, pandas are my absolute favorite animal in the entire world, and we got to see them at the National Zoo, and they were so cute. They look kind of like a human dressed in a panda costume. It almost wasn't real, but I loved it. I loved every moment. Okay, so I just made a big goof. We have to go back to that last order's house. I left my delivery bag outside her door. I was getting a call from Uber, and I automatically think it's a scam if somebody's calling me from like Uber or DoorDash, so I don't ever answer those. But the person left a message saying, "Hey, you left your delivery bag outside of my door, so I'm gonna leave it here for you." So we're going back there. That was very nice of her to call. Very nice. Oh my gosh, look at this car. Can you see that? Oh my gosh, that car is freaking awesome. I hope y'all can see that. That's anime, right? It looked like anime. My brother was really good at drawing anime. So he passed away in 2020. My brother sadly committed suicide. He was my older brother. And I'm sorry. Oh my gosh, I shouldn't be crying. I just miss him a lot. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm crying right now. Okay, back to Goofy Sam, Sorry. I just want to tell everybody, like, make sure you
spend as much time with your family as you can. You know, sometimes family can be annoying, I know, but you never know how long you have with them. So just make sure you tell him you love him as much as possible. Like, I literally tell my son I love him every 5 minutes. I'm sure he gets annoyed with me, but you know, just make sure that they know how much you love them, and spend as much time with them as you possibly can. That's all I'll say. And I'm gonna draw up the waterworks. We're here. I'm gonna go grab my bag and see what other orders we can get. Okay, so I hate to do this, but I think I'm gonna go ahead and wrap things up for right now. I may come out later and do some more orders, but I'm a little sad and depressed now. So I just wanna go home and hug my dogs and do something to take my mind off of things. But I apologize. I apologize for this not being longer. I promise the next one will be. Hopefully you all got some value out of the beginning of this video. Like I always say, please like and subscribe if you haven't. I would truly appreciate it. Remember, hug your family, tell them you love them, even if they don't want you to. Do it anyway. So I will see you all on the next one. Bye.